Hey guys, Taki here. Welcome to the Endgame or high budget version of my Graft Occultist Autobomber. The main focus of this update was to optimize the build for single target and Ubers, and to do that I had to change the single target graft to the Squalling Tulgraft, which requires a bit more of an active playstyle, since you need to crit to trigger the secondary projectiles from it, but it's really worth it because the single target is really good, as you can see, and I made sure to keep the full Autobomber playstyle for mapping. And the clear is about as good as it was before. You have multiple sources of explode, ignite proliferation, Herald of Ash I'm using for mapping, and Flesh and Stone for Ubers. You get even more AoE scaling because I'm doing some power charge stacking now. And yeah, the survivability is also better with spell suppress cap, 40% fist taken as fire from Shaper of Flames, and full elemental ailment immunity. So the core of the build is still the same, I would say, but like I mentioned, I'm using power charge stacking for some generic damage, some AoE, and crit chance mainly, because to trigger the Squall Graft, well, I'm using Power Siphon, and you need to crit, and it has a 0.25 second cooldown, so you need a hit rate of about 4 times per second. So I'm using Power Siphon for that, and yeah, so I'm using Wands. I'm using Obliteration actually, so even more sources of explode there. Probably some different options you could use, but yeah, like a rare wand. But yeah, I think Obliteration is a good setup, and yeah. So I was really happy with the initial version of the build, the 10 Divine budget version. It was really good, bang for your buck with just 10 Divines, and obviously the prices went up a bit after the build became more popular. And yeah, that version was really cost efficient, and this one is pretty expensive, at least by my standards, mainly because of Mageblood, but it is still just a 3 flask one, and the build is probably just a bit north of 200 Divines at this point, but I would say you're getting pretty good value out of it. You know, you can do Ubers very easily, you have good AoE and an Autobomber playstyle for mapping. Not to mention, it's like a novel build that you probably will never be able to play again in future leagues, unless they, you know, make grafts go core, which I highly doubt. But yeah, thanks for all the good feedback on the previous build. Let's get into this update and the setup I'm running now. So I'm level 99 now, and as you can see, the core of the build is still the same. I'm using Gravebind with the Falling Crystals, Freezing Tulgraft, and Skitterbots with the also the Chilling Presence to make sure things are always chilled, to automatically shoot out the crystals. And yeah, but now I'm using the Squalling Tulgraft, which you press this little button and then you attack with Power Siphon, and every time you crit, you trigger little projectiles from the tornado, and that's what doing the most of the single target. But this one still, it does a little bit of single target as well. For this one, I'm using crit and increased damage as the rolls. For this one, I still have +4 instead of crit, kind of because I just managed to buy a perfect one. And during like mapping, it could be nice to use cooldown recovery as well. For now, I'm just sticking with this, but essentially cooldown recovery is viable. Crit is also good. I'm not sure how much these are going up in price, but yeah. That's basically the grafts. Like I mentioned, I am scaling crit now also for the grafts, not just for myself. And yeah, I'll go over kind of the gems a little bit later, like I'm running Assassin's Mark and stuff like that. But for now, I'll just start by going over the gear. So Gravebind is the same as before, except I have a different corruption on it. I used to have vulnerability, now I'm running temp chains, because the old single target graft I was using was Fizz, but now both of these are cold, so yeah. Going temp chains on here. Obliteration wand for the explode, and as a corruption I have increased critical strike chance and increased area of effect, because you just want bigger explosions, so that's obliteration. And I'm using Atziri's Reflection still. It's just a pretty neat item for the build. You don't have to worry about curses. It gives you a little bit of DPS. I think it's something like 7 or 8% more damage with effective curses, because we do scale curses quite a bit, and or a lot of the damage scaling comes from curses. So yeah, still running at series, still running Legacy of Fury. I have this suppression corruption on it now, and I do have kept suppressed by just I actually get the last couple of percent from tattoos. So yeah, the corruption matters quite a bit here to get the suppression, and then of course you get the explodes from having that. Still running Eye of Malice for the exposure, and the nearby enemies have basically a multiplier to their resistance, which works negatively as well, which is really good. The corruption for malediction it's a lot less important now, because you can just run +1 power charge, and power charges do scale our damage. Well, like AoE damage at least. It doesn't scale the graft's damage, but it scales the clearing damage in some sense. And they also kind of scale some AoE here from area effect per power charge. We also have Forbidden Power damage and an AoE per power charge, and then also here some damage per power charge. So power charges are very good. So getting +1 power charge, that's a lot cheaper than malediction. I will recommend that for basically everybody who's running this build, because the malediction is not obtained through normal corruption, so there's just a lot less of them on the market. They're from the Glimpse of Chaos unique. So that's the helm, but yeah, corruption matters even less now, because +1 is very good. Anathema, still the same one. Bleeding can't be inflicted on you. Previously, I didn't have all these power charges, but now we have 7 power charges, so I think we're running 6 curses. But yeah, your curse limit is equal to your maximum power charges, so yeah, it's nice to get the sort of full value of this now, because I'm using a lot more curses. And Amulet, still the same as well. I'm anointing Inveterate now for the cap suppression. But yeah, I'm running Enfeeble Frostbite. You can run basically any combination of the auras that we have. But these are the ones I prefer. Second best combination, in my opinion, would be Frostbite and Elemental Weakness, I guess. But yeah, that's the amulet. And for a ring, I'm using still a rare ring, but a slightly different one. I do have quite a need for dexterity, so I wanted a big dex roll and a decent life roll and a lot of chaos resist and fixing some of the elemental resists as well. And then of course we are running the Mageblood. I guess I'll take that one last. In the other setup I was using the Doppelganger's Guise. Here I'm using a rare chest. The most important thing here is getting a lot of suppression, a lot of evasion and energy shield. Faster start of energy shield recharge is nice. Same with this craft for a little bit of energy shield regeneration. You could do like 3% fizz damage reduction as well. Is a good craft. Kind of personal preference, I guess. I like having as much recharge as possible, because I think the mitigation is already quite good. But yeah, I bought this for like 2 divines. The craft, the new the league mechanic just spits out things like this all the time, so you can get them really cheap. And for the implicits here, you want fish taken as fire. Specifically, you do want fire rather than the other elements. And then endurance charge every, it doesn't matter if it's 14 or 15 seconds or better, because we have this 100% increased charge duration, so your charges are always up. So yeah, we have endurance charges now, and yeah, that's the most of the items. And now I'm gonna go with the Mageblood setup that I'm running. So just a 3 flask Mageblood here, and I'm running a ruby flask with evasion here. Mostly because we have Shaper of Flames, which means targets that we ignite, and we ignite all the time with all types of damage on it as well. So, but yeah, enemies we ignite deal like 40% of their fizz damage is converted to fire. So Our Fizz max hit becomes a lot better with running a Ruby Flask to increase fire resistance, max fire res. It also just helps capping your resistance a bit, but actually it doesn't. We're already, you get so much fire resistance. Let's say you have a bad roll on the Eye of Malice, it helps a bit. But yeah, mostly for the max fire res, and yeah, you want the percent evasion. It doesn't really matter the rolls here as long as you have. It doesn't matter which one you have them on, but yeah, I have the increased evasion on here. Here I have avoid being stunned. So I used to get stun immunity from having the Vile Bastion. I'm not running it anymore, so I did still want stun immunity. So I got it on the Flask, which with all the increased effect puts it above 100%. And then yeah, I'm running a Quartz Flask to help with capping the suppress. And I have this craft on here, 3% life per second. I thought it was a good option. I couldn't really think of anything else to put there. So, but like I said, I do love some good recovery. I am running Zealot's Oath. So yeah, it all goes to energy shield. I have 250 ES per second, and that's 400 when I'm nearby an enemy. So that's decent. You also just have like ghost shrouds and stuff like that to recover ES. To recover life, I have life flask and life gain on hit. But yeah, that's the Quartz Flask. Then I'm running Oriath's End for the explosions, and just still a life flask with corrupting blood removal, which yeah, I don't have any CB immunity on jewels or anything like that, so it's pretty good to still, and you still do like need a life flask because yeah, we are still hybrid, and yeah. So I guess that's it for like the gear. On Uber bosses, Oriath's End doesn't do anything, so I just use another life flask. If you're running like a poison map, you might want to switch in that as well instead of CB immunity, but you can need both. But it's not like you're weak to poisons, right? You just I am chaos resist capped or close. Yeah, I am pretty close, and I can cap it with if I just put in some more tattoos. But yeah, that's the gear. Now I'll go over the jewels and the ascendancies and the tree. The tree is looking well. I'll start with the jewels. So I'm running Rational Doctrine here. Basically, 25% chance to create Profane Ground on a critical strike if Intelligence is your highest attribute, which it is. So we are making Profane Ground. We don't get the Consecrated Ground stuff here, but I don't really care. So Profane Ground is really sick because it has 100% increased crit chance for the mobs that are on it, and then curses also have increased effect on them. I have a Watcher's Eye because I'm running Purity of Elements, so I get some chaos resist from just this Watcher's Eye, a good amount of it, 48%. Then I have the forbidden jewels over here and here, and then lastly I have Foulborn Ancestral Vision, so that's what's capping my spell suppression, and also just 3% extra prevented, which is pretty good. And yeah, that's it for the regular jewels. For the clusters, I'm running a chaos damage one with unspeakable gifts for another source of explode. I'm not sure what else you would want on it, so I'm just happy with this. Maybe there's another good notable you could get. For now, it doesn't really matter. You can get like Unholy Grace or something if you want a little bit more attack speed, but my attack speed is already good. You just want it around 4%, so yeah, unspeakable gifts. Then I'm running a Megalomaniac with Chilling Presence and Fan the Flames. You do want, I guess, some combination of this. So the other one I'm running is Vast Power and Towering Threat. I guess like you could get one with like Chilling Presence, and I would say Vast Power is the one you kind of want from this one. But even that, it doesn't really matter. You could just run one with Chilling Presence and one with Fan the Flames and just lose out on it if you can't find a Megalomaniac that sort of fits some combination of these. But I bought this one pretty cheap, so it should be pretty available. But if you can't get one with exactly these two, try to get one with one of these, and then just don't run one of these and just run either a fire one or a cold one. But getting both of these on the same was kind of nice, but not mandatory. And yeah, that's the clusters. For the Ascendancy, it's looking something like this. So I'm running Void Beacon, Profane Bloom, and Forbidden Power, again for the power charge stacking stuff. I had to drop Vile Bastion, which is a little bit annoying, but not too annoying. It makes it so we don't really have to invest in Spell Block, which, I mean, Spell Block is nice to have, but you have to make some choices. And I choose to go with, you could take it, I guess, on Forbiddens, but I wanted to keep this Ignite Prolif and stuff like that. I really like it for the clear. But yeah, there's some freedom in the setup there, I guess. If you wanted to just drop this and the Ignite stuff, you definitely could. But yeah, I'm running these three and then steal the Otherworldly Appendages. Kinda sad to lose the 15% less fist damage taken when you have one Olgraft, but I mean, doesn't really matter. You still get 15% less cold damage taken, and nearby enemies take 100% increased damage from Graft skills, which is really nice. So that is the obvious Bloodline choice. For the tree, still running the same keystones: Leth Shade or Lethe Shade, and Ghost Dance, and Zealot's Oath. And yeah, now we're just taking these two power charges as well, and this endurance charge. Still relying a lot on this. Mastery is pretty good for recovery. I'm taking the block node here now because yeah, we're getting elemental ailment immunity from the purity of elements. Taking these nodes for the charge duration to keep up your endurance charges. You could maybe want some setup with the 3% damage per charge on you to get some generic damage. I'm not sure how I would make that fit. I guess if you had the highest level on this implicit, do you still need some source of duration? If so, you could just take this one node, I guess. But yeah, so that's an option. Some mana reservation here, crit damage reduction here. We do have to take some wand nodes, unfortunately. There's no hits can't be evaded craft. If there was on wands, I probably would use a wand with just hits can't be evaded, but I don't. That doesn't exist, right? So I had to run this once. So you're getting some accuracy here and some attack speed. You do want the attack speed anyways, and intelligence added to accuracy as with wands. I'm running that, and yeah, it's just what is it? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 points. Not too bad. So 6 points to be able to use a wand. I know, for example, Rue he's using a sword, and using Lancing Steel of Spraying or whatever, and that's that seems like a good setup too. I thought this was pretty good to get, because you get so much free crit and you get enough attack speed. Like, it's not hard to get 4 attacks per second. I guess you want. I have like 3.9, I think, and if you just have a bit less, right? You're never gonna. If you go over 4 attacks per second, I think you would miss a trigger now and then, maybe. But yeah, you want like around 4 attacks per second. But yeah, that's kind of it for the tree. You have some tattoos here. Like I mentioned, you probably will need some suppress tattoos. I have 2. You can use these to cap your chaos resist, and then if you want some more reduced damage from crits, they are kind of expensive, but yeah, they do make the build better. And yeah, that's the tree. I have energy shield on kill here, life on kill here, so you don't have to worry about life recovery in maps and stuff like that. 30% of chaos does not bypass here. I have, so you're not too weak against chaos. And yeah, now inveterate. Now I'm just gonna go over the gems, starting with, I guess, the main links of Power Siphon. you don't care about the level on Power Siphon. You can just keep it on level 1 to keep the mana low. I think I could probably sustain a bit higher level, but it doesn't really matter because you don't care about the attack damage. I don't. Yeah, it's negligible. And then I have Power Siphon with Hex Touch, and then the hexes is Punishment and Elemental Weakness. And then I have additional accuracy because, like I mentioned, we do need accuracy. And so yeah, this gives quite a bit, 1k and then 20% increased, so that pretty much fixes it. And then we have life gain on hit. So yeah, since I'm running Zealot's Oath, I can't recover energy, life, or I can't regenerate it, so having some life on hit helps in some situations, mostly when you're taking chaos damage. Because eventually you might run out of flask charges to press, and yeah, it's just a nice little bonus to have some life on hit here. And then the other curse setup I'm running is Enfeeble and Frostbite with Blasphemy, and here you get basically for free Arrogance for some more effect. Because and yeah, it's just free because you're running Impressions, so there's no reservation, so it doesn't matter that you're using Arrogance. So those are like the curse setups. Then I have the Skitterbots setup over here. So Skitterbots with Bone Chill and Awakened Ailments, or Unbound Ailments, Awakened. Then I have Chill Charge with faster attacks and Frostblink, yes, the travel skills. I have Enduring Cry. So you do have permanent Enduring Cry or endurance charges, basically, but it will take quite a long time to get it up. So when you, let's say you start an Uber fight, like I can do an Uber in like pretty fast, right? So and I don't want to wait for this to ramp up, so I just walk up to the Uber, stand next to him when the fight starts. There's like a little bit of an immunity phase in the start anyways, right? Or not full immunity, but in those few seconds you just press that, build some power charges, press your and just start going. So yeah, you press Enduring Cry just during bossing to get your charges up at the start, or if you die and you have to zone in. But like I mentioned, the build is pretty tanky at this point, so you don't really die much in Ubers, but it does happen. So yeah, that's set up. And then for the auras here, I do have a precision level 6 to cap. You don't need to like max it out or anything, just check POB to make sure you are hit capped. And it does give a little bit of crit as well, but we are crit capped with max power charges anyways, I'm pretty sure. And then I have Purity of Elements and Flesh and Stone. So for mapping, you just switch. Unless maybe if you like I'm level 99 and I kind of just hit 99. If you want to make sure you don't die in mapping, I guess maybe you would want to run Flesh and Stone. But it's really if you want to run like rippy tier 17s and you want to try the level, then maybe you need Flesh and Stone during mapping. But otherwise, I would just run this, and you'll be good in like pretty much most maps. You don't really die during mapping unless, like I said, if you're running really rippy tier 17s. But yeah, you're fine for the most part. So yeah, you switch those out. Herald of Ash for general mapping, and then Flesh and Stone for Ubers. And I have an Enlighten here as well to fit the mana. For the Flesh and Stone, you obviously want to be in Sand Stance all the time. And yeah, that's the auras. Then lastly, we have an Assassin's Mark with a Mark on Hit setup. Here I do have a life tap to make sure it doesn't mess up the mana too much. Maybe I could actually skip out on that. Probably not. 34 mana, maybe, arguably. You could maybe, but I'm not really starved for anything. I'm not running a guard skill, but I don't really have enough strength to run like a high level steel skin or whatever. I don't have enough armor to make good molten shell, and Immortal Call is kind of annoying. It removes your endurance charges. Maybe you could put in an Immortal Call and like press it if you need it, but I think We don't need to do that stuff. That's too hard. So yeah, just running the live tap here. And I think that's it for the gems as well, right? So, but yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed the 10 Divine version, and if you did, if you have the funds for this, I think you're gonna love it as well. Just basically the same playstyle, but obviously a lot better single target and able to take down all the new Uber buses. For example, I had no idea with the mechanics. Basically, I went into them blind and I just killed them easily. And you can tank the mechanics. I'll put the main, the biggest new Uber at the end, the Incarnation of, or the Reverence or whatever. I'll put that at the end, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.
A brighter future, a secure future for one and all.
Nothing is secure within the reality of torment. Means to an end. Frozen in time and space. Overwhelming terror. Is an illusion made real. The Atlas is everything we see and everything we want. Consequence means to an end. Burning synapses. Consumed by fear. The power is an illusion made real. Consequence. The Atlas is everything we see and everything we want. Means to an end. Consumed by fear. Invocate. Intolerance. She suffers. For what purpose? What reason? Her dread shall not be erased so